Hey guys, this is Frenzy, and this is the championship game from Intel Extreme Masters Tournament in China between EGIdrA spawning as the blue Zerg in the bottom right position, and Acerelfi spawning as the red Protoss in the top left position. It's going to be a Protoss versus Zerg, on Tal'Darim Altar. Going to be very interested to see what both of these players are going to come out with. IEDRA just playing so phenomenally in the later stages of this tournament, and Elfi just playing phenomenally throughout this entire tournament. But Elfi has stated that Protoss versus Zerg is his weakest matchup. Likewise, I believe Zerg versus Protoss is IEDRA's weakest matchup, so we're going to have to see whose play is weaker. So we have IEDRA. It looks like he's actually going to go for a 15 hatchery here, and that can actually be a little bit dangerous if Elfi decides to build that forge first. But it looks like he might be going Nexus first. This probe is going to scout this, so he could do a reactionary cannon rush. We'll have to see. This probe going to come in here, scout that fast hatchery. Drone immediately pulled here, just to make sure that this cannon rush does not indeed happen. And it looks like the pylon does want to go up here, but there is no forge being built, and it looks like this could be a fake out. Elfi must know how IEDRA hates cheesy players. Gonna just send one more drone here, and it looks like until he sees a cannon, IEDRA not really going to commit to the defense of this. And it looks like just canceling that pylon, so it was just a little bit of a fake, and IEDRA's just going to go back to playing normal. That Nexus does come down first, and the forge right after. So also already a little bit of mind games coming out for Elfi. And that spawning pool coming down now. And it looks like gateway before cannon, but he can really do this with this fast hatchery. He doesn't need the cannon pretty much at all for the next 30 seconds to a minute. As we just see the Zerglings being built now. Will take them quite a while to get over to the other side of the map. We do see this drone coming out trying to scout his opponent now. Both of these queens being produced, and everything super standard starting out from here. This probe going to hide over here and try to get a good timing on possibly a third base from IEDRA. IEDRA probably will throw down a third base sometime in the near future. Gonna have this drone come up, scout that this cannon is just being built, cybernetics core timing, and actually could have gotten into the main base to get some scouting, but we'll just return that drone home for mining purposes. This probe gonna be chased down by those Zerglings, and it looks like a macro hatchery. I would generally put this at a third base, but I guess IEDRA just doesn't want to overextend himself. Which could mean he wants to do a fast tech build. So we're going to have to see how quickly he takes these gases, how quickly his lair comes up. Because if you want to do a fast tech build, you're generally a little bit exposed to 6 gate timings or anything like that. So it's better to stay on those 2 bases, and just adding this macro hatchery will allow them to get out a lot more drones much quicker. So we see a zealot coming across the map. This is not really going to be able to do anything considering how many Zerglings are out trying to take down these destructible rocks. So it looks like IEDRA just going to be trying to take down these destructible rocks and take a closer third, and just stay a little bit more safe against any aggression. And it looks like, well, almost a surround. Will he end up getting this zealot? It looks like he will end up picking off this zealot. And actually, extremely good micro from IEDRA, only losing 1 Zergling to that zealot. We do see quite a few gases, so we will see a 2-base lair, it looks like. Going to return to try and destroy these destructible rocks. And the lair does start coming down. Zergling speed beforehand. I don't really know how I feel about this. IEDRA usually does this, goes for Zergling speed before the lair. But in this circumstance where you know Zergling speed isn't really going to help you, your opponent went up to a fast a fast Nexus and won't be pushing for the next minute or so. But we do see 7 gateways, so this is going to be a 7 gateway timing push. And it looks like with no Roach Warren here, EGIdRA is actually planning to go Spire. 7 gate is designed to kill Spires off 100% of the time. Like, this is what 6 and 7 gate was designed for. Mutalisk Zergling used to be the standard play for Zergs, and as soon as Protoss has figured out this timing, that's when the metagame kind of shifted into that Roach Hydra Corruptor sort of mid-game. So we're going to have to see how EGIdRA deals with this. He's going to need a ton of spine crawlers to be able to deal with this. It's really the only way to defend this strong 7-gate push. But if he does defend it, he's going to be in an amazing position. So we do see the probe and all these sentries moving in across the map, so EGIdRA's going to know what's up. We see non-stop Zerglings being made from EGIdRA. This macro hatch is definitely going to help here. A ton more spine crawlers being produced. He knows the trouble he's in. Would like to kind of see him cancel this 3rd base, although he is going to need it to transition out of this if he does defend. And it looks like he's going to try to buy some time by attacking this pylon, but Elfi's not really going to fall for it. He does pull back a little bit, and EGIdRA just going to move back these Zerglings and constantly be trying to harass this pylon, and that'll really help if he can kill off that pylon, although the probe is still alive, building closer and closer pylons. A ton of spine crawlers coming down. EGIdRA knows that he's in a lot of trouble here. And it looks like 3 spine crawlers are going to be produced. These 2 spine crawlers a little bit overextended, will probably have to be cancelled and replaced. And this is a lot of units here for Elfi. I feel really scared for EGIdRA in this position. Both on even supplies here. It is going to be pushed in now. Excellent force fields segmenting a lot, but a ton of Zerglings coming in from the back. EGIdRA getting a nice little surround on all of his units, but excellent force fields. And it looks like a ton more Zerglings streaming in, pushing all of these sentries back. And EGIdRA, it might be defending this push designed to kill the strategy that he's using. A huge surround and only Zealots remaining. EGIdRA looks like he's successfully defended the all-in from Elfi. Going to be in a fantastic position after this. Still warping in some Zealots, but EGIdRA showing how strong he is in these timings. With 5 spine crawlers able to defend that 7 gate. And actually, Elfi knows that this is coming, dropping 2 Stargates in the back of his natural. Going to try to crank out a ton of Phoenixes before the muta count gets too high. And that's actually extremely well thought out and a very nice transition. We see these Mutalisks popping out. He did get that 3rd base. So EGIdRA isn't nearly as ahead as he could be right now. And the income station, actually, Elfi a little bit ahead on probes here. But definitely the tech and overall unit count goes to EGIdRA, especially after he kills off all of these Zealots. And we do see double chrono-boosted Stargates here, trying to get out as many of these Phoenixes as possible before these Mutalisks get aggressive. And we'll have to see how he can maintain that count to match EGIdRA's muta count, because 1-to-1 Phoenix versus Mutalisk, Phoenixes will definitely come out on top. He's going to have about 4 before this Mutaball does get in here. And EGIdRA's now going to know what's up. Looks like he is still producing Mutalisks, so he will try to attack these Phoenixes head on here. Doing a little bit of damage to 1 or 2 of the Phoenixes. Microed pretty well. And it looks like going to kill 1 instantly, kill 2 of these Phoenixes. And that's actually huge that he got 2 of them. A ton of probes going down here as well. Going to kill another Phoenix. And will he get the last Phoenix? It looks like he will not get that last Phoenix, but taking a lot of damage on these Mutalisks. But killing off so many Stalkers, so many probes. And now in the income station, he's 12, 13, 14 Harvesters ahead. That 3rd base is coming back online. No 3rd base for Elfi. And now EGIdRA has secured his position, almost double the supply of his opponent. And EGIdRA playing fantastically right now. The only thing he has to worry about is that this Phoenix count does not get out of hand if he stays on this mute attack. But I would not fault EGIdRA at all to go into Hydralisks right now. That would be an excellent transition for him. We see no sort of robo facility or robo tech whatsoever coming up for Elfi. Just staying on this Phoenix double Stargate play. We see these mutas coming back in here, going to take out this pylon actually that's powering all of these cannons and stargates. Going to depower both of these stargates, and that's actually going to hurt the Phoenix count for quite a while. The Roach Warren is going down. It looks like EGIdRA going to go onto a ground-based army now that the Phoenix count is rising. Doesn't want to play those micro games with Phoenixes versus Mutalisks, because in theory, one Phoenix can kill infinity Mutalisks, but that will never happen with latency being an issue. Both units just so fast, but Phoenix is a little bit faster than Mutalisks. So we do see Hydralisk then going down, so he's going to transition into Roach Hydra here. And I would have to say that's an excellent transition. He can do a pretty strong timing when the third base from Elfi is coming up, and that's going to be extremely difficult to defend without any sort of Robotech. We even see Protoss air weapons being upgraded to try to deal with this Mutalisk count, but once he sees that EGIdRA goes into that Roach Hydra army, he's going to be pretty surprised. So we see quite a few Phoenixes moving out. This actually could probably kill this Mutaball. We'll have to see. A pretty big engagement here going down. No micro really going on these. Well, there is a little bit of micro going down now on these Phoenixes, and it looks like Elfi barely going to come out on top of this with a few Phoenixes remaining, and EGIdRA happy to trade those Mutalisks for those Phoenixes there, because this Hydra push is going to be so strong from EGIdRA. On 4 bases now, and the Nexus just coming down for Elfi's third. Taking out another one of those Phoenixes, and now Elfi does know that the Hydralisk tech is inbound. We see 4 more gateways being warped in. Looks like just to be completing a wall off here. And actually still going on these Phoenix play. So we'll have to see what he can do with this. These Zerglings going to try to get a little aggressive, but not really going to be able to do all that much against this increasing Zealot count. We see pathogen glands being researched, so we might see some Infestor Hydra Roach pushes here, and a ton of Hydras moving across the map. And there's really going to be no AoE to deal with this. There's actually more Hydralisks than units for Elfi right now. We see 177 supply to 102, and I think EGIdRA is going to win the game outright with this push. There's just not enough to deal with it. Excellent defense earlier on versus that 7 gate. Just everything leading up to that. That's really what won him the game here. Going to poke up, see that there is no units here for Elfi, and just absolutely crush through this. And Elfi's going to have to GG out here. EGIdRA going up 1-0 in this game. And I'm going to jump into Game 2 in a little bit. If you want to check out more of my videos, go to blip.tv/FrenzyStarcraft. And thanks for watching.